My child, listen to me. Come close and quiet your heart, for I wish to speak to you about the restless turning of your mind. You sit here. In this moment I have gifted you, and yet your spirit is not with me. It has traveled into the mists of tomorrow, wrestling with shadows and specters that have no substance. You are carrying the weight of days you have not yet been asked to live, and it is crushing the peace I have prepared for you today. You build bridges to cross rivers you may never encounter, and you fashion armor for battles I have not ordained for you. My child, you are a tireless architect of anxieties, drawing blueprints for a future that belongs only to me. In your effort to secure what is to come, you are forfeiting the sanctuary of what is. This habit, this constant, churning motion of overthinking, is a thief that comes to steal the joy I am pouring into your present. Why do you allow your thoughts to be like frantic birds trapped in a room, beating themselves against windows they cannot break? You gaze upon a horizon that is shrouded by my own design, and you exhaust yourself trying to pierce the veil. You ask questions of a silence I have intentionally kept, seeking a full manuscript for a life that is meant to be revealed one page at a time. Do you not understand? The space between what you know and what you do not know is where faith is meant to grow. It is the sacred soil I have tilled for the roots of your trust in me to deepen. But you treat this holy ground of uncertainty as a wasteland of fear. You wander there, lost and alone, while I am standing here beside you in the vibrant, sunlit garden of this very moment. I am not a distant king, issuing decrees from a far-off throne in the future. I am the God who chooses to dwell in the immediacy of your breath. My eternity is not something you must journey toward. It is something that intersects your time right now. I am in the warmth of the air on your skin, the steady, faithful rhythm of your own heart, the light that falls upon the floor in front of you. You search for my grand arrival in some distant, triumphant tomorrow, but you are missing my constant, tender whisper in your today. You look for a sign in the heavens about next year, while I am giving you a miracle in the functioning of your own body this second. When you overthink, you are essentially telling me, your presence right now is not enough. I need your presence in my imagined future to feel secure. But my child, my presence is all you have, and I promise you, it is more than enough. Have you ever considered why I portion out time in single moments, like a father giving his child just enough bread for one meal at a time? It is an act of profound love. If I were to unroll the entire map of your life before you, showing you every mountain pass, every shadowed valley, every treacherous river crossing, and every sunlit clearing, would you still feel the need to hold my hand? Or would you race ahead, confident in your own knowledge of the path, forgetting the guide who charted it? Would you still call on me for daily strength, or would you rely on the strength you think you have stored up for the journey? I give you today and only today because I long for your fellowship. It is in the daily turning to me, the morning plea for guidance, the midday prayer for sustenance, the evening whisper of gratitude that our relationship is woven. Step by step, moment by moment, this is how intimacy is built. You cannot build a relationship with a destination. You can only build it with the one who walks beside you. Overthinking is a gilded chain. The enemy presents it to you not as a prison, but as a tool. It feels like wisdom. It feels like responsible preparation. It feels like a necessary burden for a conscientious soul. But beneath its sheen, it is pure fear. It is the lie that you can master the unknown if you simply worry about it enough. It is the illusion of control. Fear whispers that if you can anticipate every negative outcome, you can somehow prevent it. But my love, your calling is not to control your life. Your calling is to entrust your life to the one who has already overcome everything you could ever fear. I have not given you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. 𝐆𝐎𝐃 is the enemy of a sound mind. It is a storm of your own making in a sea I have already promised to calm. When you allow your mind to journey beyond the circle of light I have cast around your feet for today, you are stepping into a darkness of your own imagining. In that darkness, you create monsters. You fight skirmishes that will never occur in reality. You grieve losses you will never actually suffer. You feel the sting of betrayals that will never happen. And while your soul is bleeding on these imaginary battlefields, the real and beautiful life I have given you today lies fallow. The relationships I have placed around you are left unnurtured. The work I have given your hands to do is left undone. The peace that is your birthright as my child remains unclaimed. Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They do not toil or spin. They do not spend their nights in anxious contemplation of whether the sun will rise or if a storm will come. They simply open themselves to the light and rain of today. They receive what is given, in the moment it is given, and in that simple, trusting posture, they radiate a glory that even the wealthiest king could not replicate. And you, my child, are of infinitely more value than all the flowers of the world. Yet you live as though this moment is a mere stepping stone, something to be endured on the way to a future you are so desperate to manage. You rush past the feast I have laid for you because you are worried about whether there will be food tomorrow. I do not say these things to add to your burdens, but to liberate you from them. Every moment you spend lost in the labyrinth of what if is a moment where my peace cannot find you. Every hour you give to anxious projection is an hour where joy seeps away. The beauty of the now is a fragile gift. It cannot be seen through eyes that are strained and focused on a distant, blurry horizon. So I call to you, my child, with all the love in my eternal heart. Come back. Come back from the barren lands of 𝐆𝐼𝐃 worries. Return your heart to this moment. Anchor your soul in this breath. Find me here, for I am waiting for you. Let me tell you of others, just like you, whose hearts were once caught in this same snare of restlessness. They were not spiritual giants, but ordinary people who learned the extraordinary secret of letting go. There was once a craftsman, a man who worked with wood. He was gifted, and his hands could bring forth great beauty from a simple block of timber. But his mind was never at peace. As he carved a table, he would be worrying about the chair he had to make next week. As he sanded the chair, he would be agonizing over a commission he might receive next year. He feared his reputation would fade, that a younger craftsman would surpass him, that the wood would one day run out. He was so preoccupied with building a legacy for the future that the joy of his craft in the present turned to ash in his mouth. One day, his hands trembling with anxiety, he could not even hold his tools. He fell to his knees amidst the wood shavings and cried out, "Lord, I am building my own tomb out of fear." In that moment of surrender, I spoke to his heart. "Stop building your legacy," I told him, "and simply build this table for me. Pour your love into this single piece of wood for this moment. Let 𝐆𝐼𝐃's work belong to tomorrow." He took a deep breath, and for the first time in years, he felt the grain of the wood under his fingers. He smelled the scent of the cedar. He focused only on the task at hand as an offering to me, and a profound peace settled over him. Years later, he looked back and saw that his legacy had been built not by his anxious planning, but by a long series of beautifully, faithfully completed days. And there was a young woman, a scholar who carried a deep desire to write something that would bring light to the world. But she was paralyzed by the sheer magnitude of her ambition. She would sit with a blank page and her mind would race forward, imagining critics, imagining failure, imagining that her words would be misunderstood or, worse, ignored. She tried to map out every chapter, every argument, every conclusion before she even wrote the first sentence. The weight of the entire, unwritten book crushed her spirit each day. She was so afraid of the final judgment on her work that she could not find the courage to begin it. In her despair, she heard my whisper, "I have not asked you to write a book. I have only asked you to write one true sentence today." That simple instruction broke the chains of her fear. She let go of the future outcome and focused on finding one true thing to say right now. And so, sentence by sentence, page by page, her work came into being. It was a testament not to her grand design, but to her daily faithfulness to the small, manageable task I had set before her. She found that I did not ask her to carry the weight of a mountain, only to move a single stone each day. Do you see, my child? Their deliverance was not found in receiving a detailed map of the future. It was found in their willingness to walk with me one step at a time. They learned that the future is not a fortress to be conquered, but a path that unfolds as you walk it in faith. Think of a mother who watched her children play, her heart a tangled knot of fear for their futures. With every scraped knee, she imagined a catastrophic injury. With every childhood argument, she foresaw a lifetime of sibling rivalry. With every struggle in school, she feared a future of failure. Her love, which was meant to be a source of warmth and light for them, was becoming a blanket of anxiety. She spent her nights praying frantic, fearful prayers, trying to dictate to me every detail of the protection she demanded for them. She was trying to be their God, and the burden was unbearable. One evening, utterly spent, she looked at her sleeping children and whispered, "Lord, they are yours. I am only their steward. I will love them today. I will teach them today. I will hold them today. Their tomorrows belong to you." A quiet release washed over her soul. It was not that she stopped caring. It was that she stopped carrying a weight that was never hers to bear. Years later, she saw her children navigate challenges with a resilience she could never have given them, sustained by a grace she could never have manufactured. Her greatest gift to them was not her worry, but her surrender. And there was a leader, a man responsible for many people, who believed the success of his community rested entirely on his ability to foresee and forestall every possible crisis. He spent his days in endless meetings, creating contingency plans for events that were years away. He was celebrated for his foresight, but inwardly he was withering. He had no joy, no peace, only the constant, humming dread of the unknown. He was so focused on protecting his people from a hypothetical future that he was failing to lead them in the actual present. One day, I brought him to his knees and I asked him, "Who is the shepherd of these people?" Humbled, he replied, "You are, Lord." And I said, "Then let me be the shepherd. You are simply one of my sheep, tasked with walking at the front of the flock for a season. Keep your eyes on me and I will guide your steps. You do not need to know the entire landscape. You only need to listen for my voice." He began to lead differently. He started spending more time listening to me and to his people, and less time strategizing against shadows. And the community flourished, not because of his perfect planning, but because it was guided by my present moment wisdom. My child, these are not just stories. They are reflections of your own heart. The same worry that plagued them is the worry that whispers to you now. But the same peace they found is the peace I am offering to you. It is a peace born not of certainty, but of trust. The future you are trying so hard to understand does not belong to the one who analyzes it, but to the one who entrusts it to me. Do you recall how I fed my people in the desert? I gave them manna, just enough for one day. If they tried to hoard it, to store it up for the next day out of fear and a lack of trust, it would spoil. I designed it that way on purpose. I was training them in the rhythm of daily dependence. I wanted them to wake up each morning with a fresh need for me, and to go to sleep each night with a fresh memory of my faithfulness. Their security was not meant to be in a storehouse of bread, but in the heart of the bread giver. I am your manna, my child. I am your portion for this day. Stop trying to gather provision for weeks and months and years ahead. It will only spoil in your spirit, turning into the rot of anxiety. Come to me today and receive the nourishment you need for this moment. It will be enough. You live your life twice when you overthink. You live through every imagined tragedy in your mind, and then you live through reality. But the life you live in fear is a phantom life that drains the strength you need for your real one. You are borrowing sorrow from a future that may never come to pass, and in doing so, you are declaring spiritual bankruptcy in the present. Why do you wound yourself with daggers of your own making? Why do you insist on drinking from the bitter cup of dread, when I hold out to you the sweet, living water of my peace? You say, "But Lord, what if I fail?" And I answer you, "What if my grace is made perfect in your weakness?" You say, "But what if I am rejected and abandoned?" And I whisper, "What if I am the one who will never leave you nor forsake you, whose love holds you closer than any other?" You say, "But what if I make the wrong choice?" And I reply, "What if I am the God who can redeem any choice and weave all things together for the good of those who love me?" You say, "But what if suffering comes?" And I assure you, "What if I am the God who will walk with you through the valley of the shadow, whose presence will be your comfort and your strength?" You see, for every what if that fear hurls at you, my love has already provided an answer. The answer is not a detailed explanation of the future. The answer is the reality of my character. The answer is me. You think you need answers. My child, you do not. You need assurance. You need the deep, abiding knowledge that the one who holds the future is good, is wise, and loves you with an everlasting love. That assurance is what I give you now. I am with you. My spirit dwells within you. My love surrounds you. My power upholds you. This is the only truth you need to carry. So let go of the need to know. The future is a land that is not yet ready for you, and you are not yet ready for it. It is a fruit that is still on the vine, drawing life from me. To try and pluck it in your mind before its time is to taste only bitterness. Let the seasons of your life unfold according to my perfect timing. You cannot command the sun to rise by staring at the darkness. You cannot force a seed to grow by digging it up every day to check its progress. Be still and know that I am God. Live in this moment. Love the people in this moment. Do the work of this moment with all your heart as unto me. Your faithfulness today is the soil in which the seeds of your beautiful future are being sown. Walk with me now and let me be the one who worries about tomorrow. Did I not promise that I would? The future you so often dread is not a chaotic void. It is a canvas upon which I am already painting a masterpiece. Every event, every encounter, every joy, every sorrow, it is all known to me. And my knowledge is not cold and distant. It is the intimate knowledge of a loving Father. I have planned for you with a tenderness you cannot comprehend. I have already ordained moments of provision in places you fear will be barren. I have already arranged for sources of comfort in times you fear you will be alone. The battles are known to me, yes, but so are the victories that lie on the other side. And my presence will be the constant thread of gold woven through it all. So now, my beloved child, cease your striving. Be still and let me speak a blessing over you, over the very future that troubles your heart. I bless your mind with my peace, a peace that surpasses all understanding. May the frantic winds of anxiety cease, and may the calm waters of my presence be the resting place for your thoughts. I command the cycles of worry to be broken and replaced with cycles of trust. I bless your heart with unshakable courage. May you face each new day not with a spirit of trepidation, but with a spirit of adventure, knowing that I am with you. May you love bravely, give generously, and live fully in the freedom I have purchased for you. I bless your eyes to see my handiwork in the small and the immediate. May you see my glory in the face of a friend, my provision in your daily bread, my beauty in the world around you. May your present moment become alive with the wonder of my presence. I declare over you that your future is not a fragile thing at the mercy of chance, but a secure reality held firmly in the palm of my sovereign hand. My plans for you are for good and not for harm, to give you a future and a hope. I declare that the paths I lead you on will always lead to greater life, even when they wind through places of shadow. The doors I open, no one can shut, and they will lead you to pastures of greater purpose and joy than you can imagine. I promise you that you will one day stand in a place of peace and look back on this season of worry with a heart overflowing with gratitude. You will see how I was working in the waiting, how I was teaching you in the uncertainty, how I was holding you even when you felt you were falling. You will see that the things you feared most were often the very things I used to bring about my greatest blessings in your life. You will say with a joyful laugh, "My God was faithful all along." So walk forward from this moment, not as a slave to what might be, but as a beloved child secure in who I am. Carry this truth as a shield. I go before you to prepare the way, I walk beside you to be your companion, and I live within you to be your strength. The past is forgiven, the present is a gift, and the future is safe, not because you can control it, but because I hold it. When you wake in the morning, let your first thought be, "My God is with me today." When you lie down at night, let your last thought be, "My God will watch over me tonight." Live in the simple, profound, and life-altering reality of my constant presence. For one day, all the tomorrows you have worried about will have passed. You will stand in my light, and all shadows will be gone forever. And I will look at you, my precious child, and say, "Well done. You trusted me. You walked by faith and not by sight. Welcome into the joy that has been prepared for you from the beginning of time." Go now in my peace. Go in my love. For I, your Lord, your Father, and your God, am with you always to the very end of the age.